Question number 6, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Finance, does he intend to issue a new directive letter to the Overseas Investment Office? If not, why not?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, because there's no reason to.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Is the Minister aware that we have sold 2 farms a week to foreign investors in the last 8 months of this year alone? 41,000 hectares.
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, whatever sales there have been will have complied with the Overseas Investment Act, and as the member is aware, whether or not they comply can be reviewed judicially.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Would a company engaged in corruption and bribery meet the OIO's good character test?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, if that was the case, that a company was involved in that behaviour, I'd suspect they would not meet the criteria. And if the OIO mistakenly indicated the company had passed that test, that could be reviewed in the courts.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Fletcher Tabuteau.
Is the Minister aware that Hunan Dakang faces allegations of corruption and bribery, was an approved buyer of Crayfar Farms, Sinlate Farms and potentially Lochinvar Station?
Order.
If not, why not?
Order. In responding to the answer, I don't want any mention of the last farm mentioned because I understand that is now before the courts. I'll invite the Minister to comment on the rest.
Mr Speaker, I'm aware that that's the usual standard of New Zealand First allegation about things they don't like, but any applicant is tested under the Official Information Act. It's a very transparent and robust process.
Good answer.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
Will the Minister direct the Overseas Investment Office to start collating the benefits of overseas investment in our farmland? If not, why not?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, it's part of their function under the Overseas Investment Act.
Question number 7, the Honourable